بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome everyone to a special broadcast part of My TV Muharram programming. I am Batul Rizvi, your host, and today we're focusing on Amamiya Medics International in India. This is a special transmission for the month of Muharram, which will give an insight to different IMI chapters. Let's have a look. Highlights of today's show include special interview with IMI Global President Dr. Mubarak Naqvi. Dr. Vasi Jaffrey walks us through the initiative of Hussaini Langar in Aligarh, India. Interview with the IMI US Director of Media and Publications, Dr. Nuzhat Shiko Zaidi. Mr. Masood Rizvi, IMI Director of Finance, talks about the relief work done in India during COVID-19. Dr. Rayaz Mehdi, President of IMI India, briefs on IMI activities in India. And Dr. Fozia Qamar, Infectious Disease Specialist, answers questions regarding the COVID-19 pandemic.
بر صغیر میں عزاداری کی تاریخ اسی وقت سے شروع ہو گئی تھی جب عربوں کا سندھ کی طرف آمد کا سلسلہ شروع ہوا۔ سندھ میں جو اب پاکستان کا حصہ ہے، وہاں مرت العابدی اور اس کی فوج نے جب چڑھائی کی تو وہ زمانہ امیر المومنین حضرت علی علیہ السلام کا تھا۔ یہ لوگ شدید طور پر محبت اہل بیت کے حامی تھے۔ بنی امیہ کی علی دشمنی کہ جب نام علی رکھنا بھی دشنام سمجھا جاتا تھا اور دشمنان اہل بیت کو خاص مراعات حاصل تھی، اس وقت سے عاشقان علی کے لیے کافی مشکلات تھیں، جس کی وجہ سے لوگوں نے عرب کو ترک کرنا شروع کر دیا تھا، یہاں تک کہ بعد کربلا منتقم کربلا کے عنوان سے بنی امیہ کا خاتمہ کر کے نعرہ بلند کرنے والے بنی عباس، جو رسول اللہ اور حضرت علی علیہ السلام کے چچا جناب عباس کی نسل سے تھے، جب حکومت میں آ گئے تو یہ بھی ایک طویل دور تک اولاد علی پر مظالم ڈھاتے رہے، اور اکثر بادشاہ جن میں متوکل کا نام سر فہرست ہے، انہوں نے تو بنی امیہ کو بھی پیچھے چھوڑ دیا۔ شیعوں کا قتل عام، اہل بیت کو قید و بند میں رکھنا، شیعہ علماء کو بے دریغ قتل کرنا، قبر مطہر امام حسین علیہ السلام پر حل چلوانا، وہاں سے نہر نکلوانے کی ناکام کوشش کرنا، کربلا کی زیارت پر سخت پابندیاں اور خصوصی طور پر روزوں کو منہدم کرنا اور شیعہ کتب خانوں کو نظر آتش کرنا بنی عباس کے طویل دور حکومت کا حادثہ تھا۔ یہ ایک بڑا سبب، اور دوسرے بعض روایات کی بنا پر امام زین العابدین علیہ السلام کی والدہ کا سندھ سے تعلق بر صغیر کی طرف شیعوں کی آمد کے اسباب بنے، چونکہ حکمرانوں کے مظالم کا براہ راست شکار اولاد علی تھی، اس لیے سادات نے زیادہ مائیگریشنز کیے، جس میں ہندوستان سر فہرست تھا۔ یہ علم سے تعلق رکھنے والے افراد تھے، اس لیے درس و تدریس، بلند اخلاق اور عزاداری کی دوش پر ہندوستان کے مختلف صوبوں میں شیعوں کی تعداد میں اضافہ ہونے لگا۔ 16ویں صدی کے آغاز میں دکن میں قطب شاہی حکومت کا قائم ہونا اور حکومت کی اقتداء میں باقاعدہ عزاداری کا سلسلہ فروغ پانا، دوسری طرف بابر کی 20 اپریل سن 1526 عیسوی میں ہندوستان آمد जो तशय्यो से नफरत का हामी न था, उसमें शियों को सुकून की सांस लेने का मौका दिया। कुतुबशाही हुकूमत सन 1510 ईस्वी से सन 1687 ईस्वी तक रही। दूसरी तरफ ईरान में सफवी हुकूमत से हुमायूं का मदद लेना और बाबर की शिया सुन्नी इत्तेहाद बरकरार रखने की वसीयत ने सोने पर सुहागे का काम किया। हुमायूं का वजीर बैरम खां खुद शिया था। सिंध से अपने सफर का आगाज करके दक्कन से होते हुए जहां शायद ही कोई शहर या गांव हो जहां फर्श अज़ा न बिछता हो, खुसूसन गोलकुंडा का इलाका तो सर फेरिस्त रहा। हिंदुस्तान के मुख्तलिफ सूबों और शहरों में अज़ादारी फरोग पाने लगी। दूसरी अक़वाम के दाखिले के बाद आशूर खानों की तामीर का सिलसिला भी शुरू हुआ, जिन्हें आज हम इमाम बारगाहें कहते हैं। चूंकि हिंदू हजरात मस्जिद में नहीं जा सकते थे और मुसलमान मंदिर में, इसलिए आशूर खाने हुसैनी राह इख्तियार करने वालों के लिए करबला शनासी का एक बड़ा जरिया बने। जो लोग करबला की ज़ियारत से महरूम थे, उनके लिए हरम इमाम हुसैन अलैहिस्सलाम की शबीह ताजियों की शक्ल में और अलमदार हुसैनी के अलम की शबीहें बनने लगीं और इन्हीं आशूर खानों में उन्हें नस्ब किया जाने लगा। यहाँ तक कि सन 1680 ईस्वी से सन 1859 ईस्वी तक नवाबीन अवध का दौर आया। उन्होंने अपने घर तो न बनाए, मगर मुतअद्दिद इमाम बारगाहें, मसाजिद, करबलाएं और रोज़ों की शबीहें फैज़ाबाद, लखनऊ, जौनपुर और आसपास के इलाकों में तामीर कराईं। अज़ादारी कायम रखने के लिए बड़े बड़े औकाफ बनाए, शाही जुलूस उठवाए, तबर्रुकात की तकसीम का रिवाज भी आम किया, ताकि गैर कौमें और गुरबा शिकम शेर होने के लिए आएं और हुसैनियत अपने साथ लेके जाएं। उधर बंगाल में हैदर अली और मैसूर में टीपू सुल्तान ने अज़ादारी को मजीद बुलंदियां अता की। कश्मीर के इलाके में एक तवील अरसे तक शियों की काफ़ी खुरेजी हुई और एक तवील अरसे तक वहां आज़ादारी मुहाल थी, जो सिलसिला माजी करीब तक जारी रहा। शिया हजरात छिप छिपा कर घरों में अज़ादारी करते रहे। मीर सैयद अली हमदानी, जो सूफी मसलक से ताल्लुक़ रखते थे और ईरान से काफ़ी तबर्रुकात के साथ कश्मीर तशरीफ़ लाए थे, उन्हें रसूल और आले रसूल से एक ख़ास मोहब्बत थी। उन्होंने फ़ारसी में मरसियों और नौहों को फ़रोग़ देकर कश्मीर में काफ़ी हालात साजगार किए। मीर सैयद हसन ने कदीम हिंदुस्तानी ज़बान संस्कृत और फ़ारसी पर मुश्तमिल मरसिये लिखे। सन 822 हिजरी में उनका पहला मरसिया मंजर आम पर आया। कुछ अरसा पहले तक श्रीनगर के चंद जुलूसों को छोड़कर उतार चढ़ाव के साथ कश्मीर की अज़ादारी का सिलसिला जारी रहा, जो अब शायद कुछ बेहतर है। इसके बरखिलाफ ये बात भी काबिल ज़िक्र है कि हिंदू महाराजाओं में से अक्सर ने अपनी अपनी रियासतों में अज़ादारी में हिस्सा लिया। मराठा हुक्मरां इंदौर के होलकर्स, बड़ौदा के गायकवाड़, रानी झांसी, साहूजी कोल्हापुरी और खुसूसन ग्वालियर की सिंधिया फैमिली। 17वीं सदी से ये सिलसिला शुरू हुआ और ग्वालियर में तो महाराजा के अजीमुशान ताजिए की इक्तिदा में घर घर से ताजिए उठाए जाते हैं और उनकी तादाद इतनी है कि दुनिया भर में उसकी नज़ीर नहीं मिलती, जबकि वहाँ शिया हजरात तकरीबन नहीं के बराबर हैं। सूफियों की शमूलियत की वजह से मजालिस का अंदाज भी कदरे मुख्तलिफ रहा। इब्तिदा में रोज़ा खानी होती रही, फिर एक दौर आया जिसने मीर बब्बर अली अनीस और मिर्ज़ा सलामत अली दबीर जैसे मरसिया निगार हिंदुस्तान को दिए। मीर अनीस की विलादत सन 1803 ईस्वी में फैज़ाबाद में हुई और सन 1874 ईस्वी में लखनऊ में आप मालिक हकीकी से जा मिले। आपने उर्दू, फारसी और संस्कृत ज़बानों का इस्तेमाल अपनी मरसियों में किया है और बाज़ अशार आज भी आशूर में क़यामत खेज़ मसाइब के अज्जा हैं, जैसे हुसैन जब के चले बादे दोपहर रन को, न था कोई कि जो थामे रकाबे तौसन को, सकीना झाड़ रही थी अबा के दामन को, हुसैन चुपके खड़े थे झुकाए गर्दन को, ना आसरा था कोई शाह करबलाई को, फकत बहन ने किया था सवार भाई को। या एक जगह फरमाते हैं कि जंगल से आई फातिमा जहरा की ये सदा, उम्मत ने मुझको लूट लिया वा मोहम्मदा, है कौन अब जो हक़ रिफाकत करे अदा, है ये जुल्म और ये उम्मत का मुक्तदा, 1900 है जख्म तने चाक चाक पर, ज़ैनब निकल हुसैन तड़पता है खाक पर। मिर्जा दबीर साहब का जिक्र भी अज़ादारी में एक अहम मकाम रखता है। आपकी विलादत सन 1803 ईस्वी में दिल्ली में हुई और सन 1875 ईस्वी में लखनऊ में आपने इंतकाल फरमाया। इससे अंदाजा लगाया जा सकता है कि आप मीरानीस के हम असर ही न थे बल्कि तकरीबन हम उम्र भी थे। इन दोनों हजरात के लिए यह कहना बेहतर है कि मरसिया निगारी के आफ्ताब व महताब की हैसियत रखते थे। दबीर साहब के मरसियों की भी मीरानीस की तरह एक तवील फहरिस्त है। करबला से शाम तक और फिर मदीने वापसी तक शायद ही कोई पहलू तिश्ना छोड़ा हो। मिर्जा दबीर का एक बंद कि करीबे कूफा पैगंबर के जब हरम आए, झुकाए शर्म से वो सर असीर गम आए, ये नौहा करते हुए हर कदम आए, तमाम कुंबे को जंगल में खो के हम आए, नबी की आल पे अल्लाह क्या तबाही है, हुसैन मर गए और रोने की मना दी है। इन दोनों के तखय्युलात, उसलूब और ज़बान ने अपने बाद के तमाम मरसिया खानों बल्कि करबला के ताल्लुक से शायरी करने वालों पर मुसलसल एक गहरा तासुर छोड़ा है और यह आइंदा नस्लों तक इंशाअल्लाह कायम रहेगा। अब अज़ादारी एक नए उरूज की तरफ रवां थी, क्योंकि एक शेर उससे कहीं ज्यादा बयान कर देता है जो नस्र के सफ़हात नहीं लिख सकते। मुख्तलिफ अकायद और फिक्रों के शुआरा करबला से जुड़ने लगे, मजलिसों के अंदाज बदलने लगे, तादाद बढ़ने लगी। मरसिया, रुबाई, सोजो सलाम, मनकबत, नातो हमद और नौहे राइज होने लगे। इस फहरिस्त में अल्लामा इकबाल और हजरत जोश मलियाबादी को भी फरामोश नहीं किया जा सकता। उन्होंने करबला से जुड़ी फिक्रों को नया रुख दिया। अल्लामा इकबाल फरमाते हैं कि हकीकत अबदी है मकाम शब्बीरी, बदलते रहते हैं अंदाज़े कूफियो शामी। या अपनी गहरी अकीदत का इजहार फरमाते हुए कहते हैं अल्लाह अल्लाह बाए बिस्मिल्लाह पिदर, अल्लाह अल्लाह बाए बिस्मिल्लाह पिदर, मानिए ज़िब्हे अज़ीम आमद पिसर। और जोश साहब तो इमाम हुसैन अलैहिस्सलाम को आइंदा नस्लों के लिए एक मनारे रोशन तस्लीम करते हैं। चमकेगा तेरी फिक्र से हर गोशे जमाल, लाएगा तू ख्याल के मौसम में एतदाल। या बादे रसूल करबला तक की पूरी तारीख सिर्फ 4 मिसरों में समेट देना, ये कमाल भी हजरत जोश मलियाबादी के नाम है। अहले दिल से कह रही है ये मौर्रिख की ज़बां, बादे पैगंबर हुई थी किस तरह सरगोशियां, छा गया था हर तरफ किस तरह दौलत का धुआं, क्या दबे पांव चले थे साजिशों के कारवां, अब भी उन अमवाज में डूबी पड़ी है करबला, हाँ उसी की एक तारीखी कड़ी है करबला। बहुत से हिंदू और सिख शुआरा ने भी इमाम हुसैन अलैहिस्सलाम को अपना आइडियल तस्लीम किया है। भुवन अमरोवी फरमाते हैं हिंद में काश हुसैन इब्ने अली आ जाते, चूमते उनके कदम पलकें बिछाते हिंदू, आँच अहमद के नवासे पे ना आने देते, वक्त पड़ता जो कोई सर भी कटाते हिंदू। जनाब माथुर लखनवी साहब का एक शेर कि मेरे माथे की सुर्खी पर न जाओ, तिलक है खून का धब्बा नहीं है। और मायानाज सिख शायर जनाब مہندر سنگھ بیدی صاحب فرماتے ہیں کہ لب پر جب شاہ شہیداں تیرا نام آتا ہے، سامنے ساقیے کوثر لیے جام آتا ہے، مجھ کو بھی اپنی غلامی کا شرف دے دیجو، کھوٹا سکہ بھی تو آقا کبھی کام آتا ہے۔ یا یہ 4 مصرے کہ زندہ اسلام کو کیا تو نے، حق و باطل دکھا دیا تو نے، جی کے مرنا تو سب کو آتا ہے، مر کے جینا سکھا دیا تو نے۔ آج بر صغیر سے یہ عزاداری دنیا کے تقریباً تمام ممالک تک پہنچ چکی ہے، اور ہر برس نئی مجلسیں اور نئے جلوسوں کا اضافہ ہوتا رہتا ہے۔ یہاں تو 2 مہینہ 8 دن بلا تفریق مذہب و ملت چھوٹے چھوٹے گاؤں عزاداری کرتے ہیں۔ عاشور کا فاقہ کاندھوں پر تعزیے اٹھائے، خاک آلود جسموں کے ساتھ اپنی اپنی کربلاؤں تک ان تعزیوں کو پہنچاتے ہیں۔ اور کیوں نہ ہو، جناب ماتھر لال لکھنوی کی ان اشعار پر ہی ہم اپنی رخصت چاہیں گے کہ آنکھ میں ان کی جگہ، دل میں مکان شبیر کا، یہ زمین شبیر کی، یہ آسمان شبیر کا، جب سے آنے کو کہا تھا کربلا سے ہند میں، ہو گیا اس روز سے ہندوستان شبیر کا۔
Now let's look at IMI, the organization. Imami Medics International is a registered professional body headquartered in Princeton, New Jersey, since 1994. Beginning as a grassroots organization, it has become a global movement, spanning 5 continents, 17 countries, countless cities, and impacting millions. IMI's collective membership from all walks of life have come together to work towards our mission derived from the verses of the Holy Quran, and whoso saveth the life of one, it shall be as if he has saved the life of all of humanity. IMI International is a nonprofit organization with over 25 years of serving humanity through health services, medical aid, charitable clinics, medical delegations, professional development, humanitarian aid, and IMI has worked on advocating for the world's most vulnerable, accredited by the United Nations DPI in 2000 and in special consultative status with the United Nations ECOSOC since 2006. Let's take a look at IMI's activities.
दुनिया भर में 2.7 बिलियन अफराद गुर्बत की लकीर से नीचे जिंदगी गुजारने पर मजबूर हैं। इन आबादियों के लिए सेहत, खुराक और साफ पानी का हुसूल एक जहद मुसलसल है। यहां सिसकती इंसानियत हर लम्हा नम आंखें लिए किसी मसीहा की मुंतज़िर रहती है। हम हैं इमामिया मेडिक्स इंटरनेशनल। हमारी कहानी का आगाज आज से 25 साल कबल हुआ न्यूयॉर्क के एक बेसमेंट से, जहां इंसानी खिदमत के जज्बे से सरशार कुछ दोस्तों ने छोटे से सरमाए लेकिन बहुत बड़े दिल के साथ IMI की बुनियाद रखी।
इरादा यही था कि कौम को अपने पैर पे किस तरह से खड़ा किया जाए। तो हमने एक छोटी सी जगह बनाई। हम JFK जाते थे, जिस भाई और दोस्त को पता चलता है कि वो अमेरिका आ रहा है तो उनके ठहराने रुकाने का इंतज़ाम, उनकी गाइडेंस के लिए, उनके दीगर ज़रूरियात के लिए इंतज़ाम किए गए और रफ्ता रफ्ता ये कारवान बढ़ता चला गया। फिर हमने बहुत सारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के मैनिफेस्टोज और चार्टर्स स्टडी किए और इमामी मेडिक्स इंटरनेशनल का एक ग्लोबल कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन डिवाइस किया।
और फिर देखते ही देखते खिदमत का ये कारवां बढ़ता चला गया। आज पाकिस्तान, भारत, इराक, बरतानिया, अमेरिका, ऑस्ट्रेलिया और अफ्रीका समेत दुनिया भर में इमामिया मेडिक्स के 55 प्रोजेक्ट्स कामयाबी से चल रहे हैं, जहां सैकड़ों IMI रजाकार तालीम, सेहत, पीने के साफ पानी, कुदरती आफात और जंगज़दा इलाकों में परेशान हाल लोगों का दुख बांट रहे हैं।
सबसे पहले तो इंडिया और पाकिस्तान, जहाँ पे कि हमारे मेजर एक्सिस काम कर रहे हैं। उसके बाद इराक में हमारा बहुत ही रोबस्ट एक्सेस है जो सन 2009 से काम कर रहा है। आपने अर्बईन मेडिकल मिशन के बारे में तो सुना ही होगा, जिसमें हर साल तकरीबन 1.5 लाख पेशेंट्स करबला में देखे जाते हैं विद इन अ स्पैन ऑफ 10 days, विच इज़ एक्चुअली अ गिनीज बुक रिपोर्टेबल इवेंट, क्योंकि दुनिया की कोई और मेडिकल प्रोफेशनल बॉडी 10 दिन के अंदर 1.5 लाख पेशेंट किसी भी और मुकाम पर नहीं देखती।
IMI अक़वाम मुत्तहिदा से मंजूर शुदा इदारा है जो रंग नस्ल और मजहबी तफरीक से बालातर होकर दुनिया भर में समाजी और फलाही काम अंजाम दे रहा है। IMI एक नजरिया है जिसकी असास ने इंसानियत पर एतबार को मजबूत किया और दुखी दिलों को यकीन दिलाया कि कोई उनका अपना भी मौजूद है।
IMI का एक ख्वाब है। वो ख्वाब ये है कि वो दुनिया में 200 स्कूल्स लगाए और 100 अस्पताल लगाए। क्या ऐसा मुमकिन है? यकीनन है। جب کیتھولک میڈیکل ایسوسیشن دنیا میں 550 اسپتال لگا سکتی ہے تو امامیہ میڈکس انٹرنیشنل یا یہ قوم جو امام کے نام پہ اپنی جان دینے کو تیار ہے، کیا اس کے لیے یہ مشکل بات ہے کہ 200 اسکولز اور 100 اسپتال لگا دیے جائیں؟ ہرگز نہیں۔
IMI کے عظیم الشان اور میگا پروجیکٹس میں شامل ہیں گزشتہ 12 سال سے عراق میں جاری 40 میڈیکل مشن، جہاں دنیا بھر سے آئے 150 سے زائد ڈاکٹرز 1 لاکھ سے زائد زائرین کا مفت علاج کرتے ہیں۔ 16 سال سے جاری حج میڈیکل مشن، جس میں ہر سال تقریباً 50,000 عازمین کا مفت علاج کیا جاتا ہے۔ پاکستان کے بڑے شہروں میں عاشورہ میڈیکل، سرجیکل اور بلڈ ڈونیشن کیمپس کا انعقاد۔ بھارت کے کئی شہروں میں گیٹ ویل چیریٹیبل کلینکس کا نیٹ ورک۔ افریقہ کے پسماندہ ملک برکینا فاسو میں اسکول، کلینک اور صاف پانی کے کنووں کی فراہمی۔ عراق میں ڈاکٹرز اور میڈیکل اسٹوڈنٹس کی تربیت اور جدید ٹیکنالوجی کا تبادلہ۔ نیسٹ اسٹوڈنٹ سپورٹ پروگرام نیو جرسی، جس سے 36 ممالک کے 700 سے زائد ڈاکٹرز مستفید ہوئے اور آج امریکہ اور برطانیہ میں کامیاب پریکٹس کر رہے ہیں۔ پاکستان، بھارت اور عراق میں 5000 سے زائد طالب علموں کے لیے اسکالرشپس اور قرض حسنہ۔ پاکستان کے کئی پسماندہ علاقوں میں قائم مفت کلینکس اور ایمبولینس سروس کا نیٹ ورک ہر روز انسانی جانیں بچانے میں مصروف ہے۔ صادق انٹرنیشنل یونیورسٹی کے لاہور اور کراچی کیمپسز پر ترقیاتی کام تیزی سے جاری ہے، جبکہ IMI کا انتہائی فعال خواتین ونگ تعلیم، صحت اور دیگر سماجی کاموں میں مرد رضاکاروں کی شانہ بشانہ خدمات انجام دے رہا ہے۔ اس کے علاوہ بے شمار شہداء کی لواحقین، بیواؤں اور یتیموں کی کفالت بھی IMI اپنا فریضہ سمجھ کر ادا کر رہا ہے۔ اور اب وقت ہے مستقبل کی جانب ایک بڑا قدم اٹھانے کا۔ دنیا کے تیزی سے بدلتے حالات اور نئے دور کے چیلنجز کو سامنے رکھتے ہوئے IMI اپنے ڈریم پروجیکٹ کا آغاز کر رہا ہے۔ امریکہ کی اسٹیٹ نیو جرسی میں ایک ایسا ملٹی پرپز پروجیکٹ لانچ کیا جا رہا ہے جو کمیونٹی کی ضروریات کو سمجھتے ہوئے ڈیزائن کیا گیا ہے۔ اس پروجیکٹ کا سب سے اہم حصہ اسسٹنس لیونگ ہے، جو ان بزرگ افراد کے لیے تیار کیا جا رہا ہے جنہوں نے ہمارا مستقبل بنانے کے لیے اپنی زندگیاں وقف کر دی۔ جدید سہولیات سے آراستہ اس سینٹر میں معمر افراد کو ان کی ثقافت، مذہب اور رسم و رواج کے مطابق وقت گزارنے کا موقع ملے گا۔
دیکھیے، ہم اپنے بزرگوں کو آخر وقت میں اکیلا نہیں چھوڑنا چاہتے۔ سب سے اس میں اہم ترین جو نقطہ ہے وہ ان کی سائیکولوجیکل اور مینٹل سٹیٹس کا مسئلہ ہے۔ اگر ان کو کلچر اسپیسیفک اور فیتھ اسپیسیفک انوائرمنٹ ملے جہاں ان کے اور بھی دیگر احباب اور دوست بھی اسی فیسلٹی میں ہوں، تو اٹ بیکمز اے سپورٹ سسٹم فار دیم، اور ان کی سائیکی پہ بجائے ایسی کہ وہ آئسولیٹڈ فارم میں گھر پہ رہیں، وہ ایک کلیکٹیولی ایک گروپ فارم میں رہیں جہاں ان کو کلچر اسپیسیفک کیئر نصیب ہو۔ تو یہ ان کی آخری وقتوں میں ایک بڑی اہم ضرورت ہے جس کی طرف متوجہ ہونا ہمارے لیے ضروری ہے۔
صرف یہی نہیں، اس پروجیکٹ میں مختلف سروسز بھی فراہم کی جائیں گی جس سے ہزاروں رضاکاروں، طلبہ اور اسکلڈ افراد کو روزگار بھی ملے گا۔ IMI کا یہ پروجیکٹ ایک خود کفیل ماڈل ہے جو اپنے اخراجات پورے کرنے کے ساتھ ساتھ آمدنی میں اضافے کا بھی سبب بنے گا۔ امامیہ میڈکس کا نظریہ سیکھنے اور سکھانے سے جڑا ہے، اسی لیے بہت جلد امامیہ ٹیلی ویژن نیٹ ورک کو لانچ کیا جا رہا ہے، جہاں پر نہ صرف سائنسی اور مذہبی بلکہ جدید لائف سٹائل، تعلیم و صحت اور نوجوانوں سے متعلق خصوصی نشریات پیش کی جائیں گی۔ لیکن ان خوابوں کی تکمیل کے لیے ہمیں آپ کی ضرورت ہے۔ IMI کو اس سال کے آخر تک اپنے اسٹیٹ آف دی آرٹ پروجیکٹ کی زمین کی پیمنٹ کے لیے $1.8 ملین کی ضرورت ہے، جسے صرف آپ کا تعاون ہی پورا کر سکتا ہے۔
خواتین و حضرات، یہ جو 30 سال کا سفر ہے اور یہ جو 55-56 پروجیکٹس دنیا بھر میں چل رہے ہیں، اس میں افریقہ میں بھی کئی ایک پروجیکٹس ہیں جس میں ہم اسکول لگا رہے ہیں، ہیلتھ سینٹرز بنا رہے ہیں، کنویں کھدوا رہے ہیں۔ تو یہ تمام کام آپ ہی کی مدد سے ہوا ہے اور آپ ہی کی مدد سے انشاءاللہ یہ آگے چلے گا۔ میں گزارش کرتا ہوں کہ آپ امام کے نام پہ، مولا کے نام پہ آپ آگے آئیں، اور اس وقت آپ جو کچھ بھی کر سکتے ہیں اس کے لیے ہم ممنون مشکور ہوں گے۔ اس وقت ہمارا قرضہ $1.8 ملین ہے، تو قطرہ قطرہ انشاءاللہ دریا بنے گا اور ہم اس مشکل وقت سے باہر نکل آئیں۔
25 سال کا یہ طویل، کٹھن اور صبر آزما سفر ہم نے رب ذوالجلال پر یقین اور آپ کی مدد سے طے کیا ہے۔ ہمیشہ کی طرح ہمیں ہر قدم پر آپ کی دعاؤں، اعتماد اور عطیات کے سہاروں کی ضرورت رہے گی، کیونکہ ہم اور آپ مل کر ہی اس دنیا کو بدل سکتے ہیں۔ یاد رکھیں، جس نے ایک انسان کی جان بچائی تو گویا اس نے پوری انسانیت کی جان بچائی۔ آپ کے تعاون کا شکریہ۔
IMI is launching its own TV channel. My TV has great potential to captivate audiences globally. The channel will provide multilingual programming available in English, French, Spanish, Urdu, Hindi, Arabic, Farsi, Turkish, and German. The network seeks to embody principles in line with IMI's core values and further the cause of empowering the communities we work with globally.
آسان، محفوظ اور جدید زندگی کی جانب انسان کا سفر صدیوں سے جاری ہے۔ حل تلاش کرنے کی جستجو اسے تحقیق میں محو رکھتی ہے۔ مشکلات اور چیلنجز کے زینے چڑھ کر ملنے والی ہر نئی منزل تازہ ہوا کا جھونکا بن کر امید کی کرنیں پھیلاتی اور شوق کی خوشبو بڑھاتی ہے۔ 7ویں سے 12ویں صدی عیسوی کا زمانہ، مسلمان سائنسی ایجادات، علم کیمیا اور طب میں نئی راہوں کا پتہ دے رہے تھے۔ جس وقت مغرب بے علمی کی تاریک چادر اوڑے ہوئے تھا، مسلمان مختلف علوم میں کامیابیوں کے سنہرے دور کی چکا چوند دیکھ رہے تھے۔ ابو القاسم الزہروی، ابو ریحان البیرونی، جابر بن حیان، ابن خلدون، زکریا الرازی اور ابن الہیشم جیسے عظیم ذہن قدرت کے اسرار و رموز پر سے ایک ایک کر کے پردے ہٹا رہے تھے اور پوری دنیا ان کارناموں سے فیضیاب ہو رہی تھی۔ ان مشاہیر میں سے کئی ایک خوش نصیبوں کو حضرت علی علیہ السلام اور حضرت امام جعفر صادق علیہ السلام کی رہنمائی حاصل رہی۔ بقول اقبال، وہ لوگ ہم نے ایک ہی شوخی میں کھو دیے، ڈھونڈا تھا آسمان جنہیں خاک چھان کر۔ جذبہ ایمانی اور جذبہ شوق کا ایک ایسا ہی دیا امامیہ میڈکس انٹرنیشنل کے نام سے گزشتہ 25 سال سے اپنے حصے کی روشنی بانٹ رہا ہے۔ دنیا کے بہترین ذہنوں اور رنگ و نسل کی تفریق سے آزاد कुशादा तरीन दिलों पर मुश्तमिल एक ऐसी जमात जिसमें शामिल एक एक फर्द के दिल में मुसलमानों के उसी अजीम माजी की हयात नौ का ख्वाब पिन्हा है। इस ख्वाब की ताबीर पाने के लिए इमामिया मेडिक्स इंटरनेशनल की बुनियाद रखने वाले साइंसदान, डॉक्टर्स और दीगर प्रोफेशनल्स 70 से ज़ायद प्रोजेक्ट्स के जरिए दिनों रात मसरूफ़ अमल हैं। सेहत, तालीम, अवामी फलाह बहबूद और हंगामी हालात में लोगों की बगैर मुआवजा मदद करने के लिए इमामिया मेडिक्स इंटरनेशनल ने रंग, नस्ल और मजहब के बजाय इंसानियत का तराजू थामा। आज दुनिया तरक्की और जदीदियत की राहों की मुसाफिर बन चुकी है। हर गुजरता लम्हा इंसानी दिमागों में नए से नए चैलेंजेस पूरे करने के ख्यालात उभार रहा है। नजरें अब जमीन से आगे कायनात के दीगर सैयारों की जानिब हैं। ऐसे में इमामिया मेडिक्स इंटरनेशनल तारीख के औराख पर दर्ज सुनहरे इस्लामी दौर की बहाली के विजन के साथ एक नया इनिशिएटिव शुरू करने जा रहा है, जिसका नाम है इमामिया मेडिक्स इंटरनेशनल MITV। एक ऐसा चैनल जिसका मकसद न सिर्फ दुनिया भर में बसने वाले मुसलमानों के दीनी और मिल्ली तशख़्ख़ुस का तहफ़्फ़ुज़ होगा, बल्कि MITV उन्हें जदीद तरीन साइंसी उलूम और इजादात से बाखबर भी रखेगा। MITV तिब के शोबे में होने वाली जदीद तरीन तहकीकात, साइंसी इजादात और मुसलमान माहिरीन के कारनामे दुनिया के सामने पेश करेगा। MITV पर तारीख़ी मवाद की अक्कासी होगी तो साथ ही साथ सकाफ़ती प्रोग्राम भी पेश किए जाएंगे। हालात हाज़रा की बात होगी तो मईशत, नौजवानों और ख़वातीन के मसाइल का तस्करा भी होगा। यानी नाजरीन को MITV के जरिए एक ऐसा मुनफरिद और मुकम्मल फैमिली प्लेटफॉर्म मैसर आएगा जिसमें न सिर्फ हमारे समाजी और माशरती इक़दार की भरपूर नुमाइंदगी होगी, बल्कि हम एक मकसद के हुसूल के तहत मालूमात का तबादला करने के काबिल हो सकेंगे। MITV पर अंग्रेज़ी, उर्दू, अरबी, फ्रांसीसी, जर्मन और फारसी जुबानों में प्रोग्राम शामिल किए जाएंगे और ये कोशिश रहेगी कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा मुसलमान इस प्लेटफॉर्म से मुस्तफ़ीद हो सकें। लिहाजा MITV से जुड़े रहिएगा। हमारा मकसद अजीम मुसलमानों की ताबिंदा तारीख की तरह उन्हें वही बुलंद मकाम वापस दिलाना और इंफॉर्मेशन के ज़रिए साइंसी उलूम समेत हर अहम शोबे में हकीकी कामयाबियों के करीब तर ले जाना है। सबक फिर पढ़ सदाकत का, अदालत का, शुजाअत का, लिया जाएगा तुझसे काम दुनिया की इमामत का।
My name is Muzammil Abbas. I came from Pakistan in 2000 to US. I used to be in Dubai. I came here in 2000, but I went back to Pakistan just for 6 months, and I came back to US in New Jersey. Most of my relatives were in New Jersey, so I landed in New Jersey. I worked for one company. He used to provide CME educations, continuing medical education. I was in IT, and I was giving support to all the doctors who need to take some courses for CME credits. I know Dr. Rizvi since I was in Pakistan, and since he's a very well known, not only doctor, but a very good person. And my father used to visit his father in insurance. So since then I know him, and when I landed here in New Jersey, the company which I used to work for, that company is called INCE, Interactive Network for Continuing Education. The owner of that company was Mr. Jafar Naqvi, and he is a relative of Dr. Waji Rizvi. And I joined IMI since I was working in INCE. So I was so impressed with Dr. Rizvi, the way he was working and the way he taking forward the IMI work. I was got surprised when I heard that, when I noticed, not heard, but I noticed first-hand experience that he worked for 18 to 20 hours every day. So that was my turning point, and I joined IMI as an IT director. My designation is IT director, and I am maintaining the crucial data of IMI. That is I think, the backbone of IMI, our community people data, their names, their addresses, their email addresses, their phone numbers. That is the most crucial data, and we try our best to save that data because it's my understanding that nowadays hacking is the most troublesome problem in IT. And Mr. Chuck Hagel, he was security consultant in US government. He predicted that the third world war could be on the basis of cyber attack. So since then, we are trying our best to save our crucial data. That's why we are hosting all our servers in-house in IMI headquarters. Basically, I am in IT, and I'm running the show of Dr. Rizvi's practice. I am a kind of a jack of all trade. I do billing for Dr. Rizvi, I do marketing for Dr. Rizvi, and at the same time, I maintain IMI servers, and I maintain, I used to blast emails when you used to receive a lot of emails from IMI. That is basically I blast through our servers. I have alhamdulillah data of emails around 12,000, and we need more data, of course, in order to propagate IMI's great work. Holding a conference is one thing, but managing a conference and to create a conference is entirely different thing. We started work for this particular conference since October 2019. We, in order to pull people to any event, you have to have a very good strategy, especially the marketing strategy. You have to knock the door to each and every member of IMI, and not only a member of IMI, but non-members of IMI as well. And you have to keep knocking the door, and through different means. We blast emails, we mail, regular mail to their addresses, invitation letters for the conference, and we distribute flyers to each and every institution and centers. So printing is also one of a very big task. As I told you in the beginning, that we really need to do each and everything in-house so that we can save IMI's money.
Aligarh, one of the largest cities in Uttar Pradesh and the 55th largest city of India. Home to the world-famous Aligarh Muslim University, the city is an important agricultural trade center and is known for its lock industry. Realizing the dearth of quality and affordable healthcare facilities in the city, IMI established its Getwell Charitable Clinic in the economically challenged Sorabagh neighborhood to facilitate access to quality healthcare for disadvantaged community at little or no cost. The clinic added a dental unit in 2005 and runs additional healthcare camps and programs, including diabetes camps. The clinic serves close to 1,200 patients each month who have no access to quality healthcare in the surrounding area.
मेरे सौर की ना तबीयत खराब थी बहुत ज़्यादा, आराम नहीं हो रहा ना, तो यहाँ पे दिखाया मैंने, फिर इन्होंने मेडिकल में दिखाया था उनके लिए, तो आराम मिला और अच्छे खासे काम भी कर रहे हैं और बच्चों की भी दवाई हमें ही लेना आती है क्योंकि वहाँ पे हमारे डॉक्टर हैं हमारे पास में मगर वो बहुत महंगी दवाई देते हैं।
आपने इसके पहले आपको इस क्लिनिक से IMI की क्लिनिक से कोई फ़ायदा हुआ है?
फ़ायदा हुआ था, हमारी सास का ऑपरेशन हुआ था, ऑपरेशन 1 साल हो गया ऑपरेशन हुए।
In 2014, the same clinic added the annual eye clinic, which has performed more than 250 cataract surgeries free of cost. One of the proud success stories of the charitable clinic is of Shahida, who was diagnosed with cardiac problem and advised open heart surgery in New Delhi. The entire expenses of her treatment, including travel and lodging, were handled by IMI. And today, Shahida, after a successful treatment, is living a normal and happy life.
शाहिदा नाम की लड़की जो गांव की थी और हमारे इमामिया मोबाइल क्लिनिक पर आई थी, वहीं डिटेक्ट की गई थी कि ये भी कार्डियक प्रॉब्लम में है और फिर हम लोगों ने जेल मेडिकल कॉलेज रेफ़र किया, वहाँ से उसको दिल्ली रेफ़र किया गया। हम लोगों ने उसके तमाम ऑपरेशन से लेकर उसके आने जाने के तमाम अखराजात बर्दाश्त किए। IMI इंडिया ने उसका पूरा ताउन किया।
Since 2007, IMI Aligarh Chapter has been running the Hussaini blood donation camps organized regularly during the Ashura and Urbain procession, along with a special Hussaini ambulance service during Muharram Julus as well. As part of the public health awareness campaign, the clinic also published and distributed publications on family planning, breastfeeding, and preventing dengue. To combat the spread of HIV/AIDS and generate public awareness, the clinic also organizes free HIV/AIDS checkup and counseling camp. In 2013, IMI Aligarh also launched the Imamia Mobile Clinic, a weekly mobile clinic that caters to small villages in the Aligarh region. Approximately 20 villages are covered through this critical health delivery service, and about 600 to 700 patients receive care each month in remote region.
एक डोनर एक शख्स की नहीं बल्कि पूरे ख़ानदान की ज़िंदगी बदल सकता है, पूरे एक मुआशरे की ज़िंदगी बदल सकता है, पूरे एक समाज की ज़िंदगी बदल सकता है। एक जवान बच्चा अगर उसको किसी तरीके की परेशानी हो गई है, अगर उसकी वो आंखों से माजूर हो गया है और हमने उसकी सर्जरी करा दी और वो इस लायक हो गया कि उसकी आंखों की रोशनी वापस हो गई, तो उस एक जवान की आंखों की रोशनी नहीं वापस हुई है बल्कि उसके पूरे ख़ानदान की रोशनी वापस हो गई।
IMI India Chapter plans to stretch its wing and takes its service beyond Aligarh to other cities like Lucknow and Bihar and establish similar clinics to serve the needy. With support and encouragement from generous donors like you, person by person, city by city, IMI will change lives.
Now, moving on, we have two very esteemed guests who serve as the backbone of IMI India. The first guest is Dr. Mubarak Naqvi, who is the IMI Global President. He serves as the medical head of diabetes for the international region at Sanofi. In the past, Dr. Naqvi held leadership positions in clinical research and medical affairs. Dr. Mubarak Naqvi was the coordinator of IMI's second international and first national conference of IMI India in 2000. Welcome, Dr. Naqvi.
Thank you, Batul. It's a pleasure.
And our second guest is Dr. Wasi Jaffrey. Dr. Wasi Jaffrey leads our incredible work in Aligarh, India. Dr. Wasi Jaffrey is the coordinator of the IMI Getwell Clinic in Aligarh. He works as the general physician and has served as the clinic's medical officer and coordinator since 2004. Welcome, Dr. Jaffrey.
थैंक यू अब्दुल जहे नसीब शुक्रिया बहुत बहुत
So, Dr. Naqvi, please describe your position as IMI president.
Thank you for that question, Batul. Basically, IMI's president, global president, represents the Board of Regions, the supreme body within Imamia Medics International Governing Board. And to that effect, the IMI Global President coordinates all the activities on behalf of the Board of Regions and is involved in the day-to-day operational management of Imamia Medics, as well as in reaching out to people, developing chapters across the world, taking care of all the projects from a supervisory capacity, and also motivating to increase the membership of IMI all across the world.
Can you also share some history of the formation of IMI India?
Yes, that's a very interesting history. It started with a phone call from Dr. Waji Rizvi back in the year 1999. I was a resident at that time in my final year of residency. And that is when Wajibai introduced Imamia Medics International to me. I discussed it with some of my senior colleagues, my colleagues who were practicing with me within Aligarh to begin with, Dr. Riaz Mehdi, Professor Sultan Sadiq, and of course, Dr. Wasi Jaffrey as well, who is sitting here, Marhum Dr. Tajdar Hussain Saab. Some of us got together, we established the Indian chapter to begin with, and then we started reaching out to other cities and towns like Delhi, Lucknow, Hyderabad, Kashmir, Bangalore, and started growing the membership. We thought the best way to consolidate and establish IMI in India would be to start with an academic conference. And that is how we decided to conduct the Millennial Congress in New Delhi in the year 2000.
Yes, and can you please share what the 2000 Millennium Conference was like with the viewers and some highlights?
Absolutely. So it was a task that we had taken up on ourselves for the first time ever. There had never ever been a professional congress like this of our community members. But we conducted it. The main event was conducted in New Delhi at the India International Center and India Habitat Center, two very prime locations for such meetings. We had host of delegates from all across the country. We had some very senior people like Professor Mehdi Hassan Saab Marhoom, who was one of the best known anatomists in the country and across the world as well. We had Professor Sadiq, we had Professor Abrar Hassan, and of course, our entire team with Riaz Bhai, Wasi Bhai, and many, many others. And what was our good fortune was that we had about 200 delegates at least who had come from the United States, Europe, including the UK, Canada, and Middle East, and different parts of the world. So our professional sessions were held in New Delhi, which was also attended by some of the religious leaders of the community to bless the event, including late Professor Kalbe Sadiq Sahab, Dr. Kalbe Sadiq Sahab, Maulana Shamimul Hasan Sahab, and many others, including some from Pakistan and US. We were at that time also fortunate to have a lot of delegates come in from Pakistan. by arranging their visas and everything. We had fantastic academic sessions for a couple of days, and after that, we moved on to Aligarh, where there was a tour of the university. There was a fantastic mushaira with some of the best poets from India and abroad who participated in that. Then we went to Lucknow. We visited Era Medical College and the Unity College of Dr. Kalbe Sadek Sahab Marhoom. And then some of us also went to Hyderabad. So it was a fantastic trip, and some people went to Varanasi as well, to the historic town. So it was a great exchange of academics, fun, poetry, interactions. The entire medical community of the country gathered at one place and interacting with so many of our global colleagues. It was wonderful.
That sounds like a fantastic conference with a great mix of culture and the purpose of IMI. Can you also explain many future projects that are lined up for IMI India, such as the details about the Super 72 project in Aligarh?
So IMI is all about healthcare, education, being the primary focus of the organization in India. And one of the things that Dr. Wasi Jafri and his team started in India a couple of years ago was a project called Super 14, where they selected about 14 students from the community after due selection process, tests, exams, etc. And then these 14 students were guided, coached, and mentored to qualify for some of the professional examinations that are required to enter the university. Once a person enters the Aligarh Muslim University, then some of the other professional courses, entry into those is relatively easy because one becomes an internal student of the university for whom a certain percentage of quota is reserved. So that was a great start. For a couple of years, it went on very well. Besides these 14 selected students, all the other students who gave the exam, they also received online coaching, whereas these 14 received face-to-face coaching. Looking at the success of this program, a lot more students started applying. And that is the time when Imamiya Medic's Indian chapter, as well as some of our donors and mentors, told us that we should expand it. And that is where the future plan is, to expand it to make it IMI 72 in remembrance of our Bahattar Shuhada from Karbala. And to make this program much wider, where we will coach the people for their entry into the basic university program, the program of engineering, medical colleges, law schools, and other professional courses that are there at the Aligarh Muslim University.
That sounds very beneficial for the community. And can you share with our viewers what is next for India?
So the most important thing that we want to do in India is basically to enhance our membership and solidify our structure. That is what is right now being implemented in different parts of the country. And in addition to that, there are several projects that are ongoing. IMI 72 is one of them. There is also an effort going on to have IMI headquarters set up in Aligarh, where the daily clinical facilities that we have been providing will be enhanced. There are facilities within Aligarh, Lucknow, and other parts of the country like eye camps. Blindness due to cataract and other illnesses is a big issue in India. So that is being addressed through various projects that we are doing. We are taking health to different parts of the country. Right now, one of our donors has very generously donated her house to us in Lucknow, her ancestral house. It is under construction right now, and we intend to have that project completed and start some academic activities as well as helping patients over there. In the future, we also want to take advantage of this whole digital revolution that has come as a result of COVID and offer digital health services to our community in different parts of the country. Similarly, on the education front, we want to go digital in implementing coaching facilities, training facilities,
and even continuing medical education for our doctors. Those are some of the plans for India in the coming days.
Thank you so much, Dr. Naqvi, and we're looking forward to seeing all the incredible work that you and your team are going to do. Dr. Basi Jaffer, you've also done some incredible work in Aligarh, and I was wondering if you could please speak to some of the work that IMI Aligarh does year-round.
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह
Dr. Basi
वस्सलातु अला
Jaffer.
अहलिहा। खुशी का मकाम है कि IMI अलीगढ़ की तरफ से हमें ये खिदमत का मौका मिला। IMI अलीगढ़ ने 2002 में चैरिटेबल क्लिनिक स्टार्ट की थी, जिसका सिलसिला आज भी कायम है। सिर्फ और सिर्फ 20 रुपीज़ एज ए रजिस्ट्रेशन फीस लेकर हर आने वाले पेशेंट्स को 3 दिनों की फ्री मेडिसिन दी जाती है। फ्री चेकअप, फ्री डायबिटिक चेकअप, ECG चेकअप, आई चेकअप, ये सब चीज़ें पेशेंट्स की फ्री में होती हैं। इस क्लिनिक पे आई यूनिट भी है, इस क्लिनिक पे गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट भी हैं, इस क्लिनिक पे कार्डियक रिलेटेड पेशेंट्स को देखने की भी सब फैसिलिटीज़ हैं। डॉक्टर काजिम आगा MD मेडिसिन अपनी खिदमत यहाँ देते हैं। तो ये क्लिनिक पूरे इस इलाके के लिए एक बैकबोन की हैसियत रखती है, और ये चीज़ तब समझ में आएगी कि जब लोगों को यहाँ की लोकल चीज़ों के बारे में कुछ मालूम हो। एक लोकल लेवल के डॉक्टर किसी भी पेशेंट को एक दिन की मेडिसिन कम से कम 60 रुपीज़ में देते हैं, और बाज़ लोग 90 और 100 रुपीज़ पर डे का भी चार्ज करते हैं। लेकिन इस क्लिनिक पर सिर्फ और सिर्फ 20 रुपए लिए जाते हैं, 20 रुपीज़, और 3 दिन तक कंसल्टेशन भी फ्री, मेडिसिन भी फ्री।
Any longer, what preparations are needed for that project?
Please repeat again.
In Muharram, you run the Husseini Langar. What preparations are needed for that project?
Yes, after COVID-19, मुहर्रम और मुहर्रम की मजालिस, इसके ऊपर बहुत ही इफेक्ट पड़ा, और मजलिसें नहीं हुई लास्ट ईयर। जो कम्युनिटी बेस होती थी, बड़े प्रोग्राम होते थे, जुलूस नहीं हुए। IMI अलीगढ़ ने एक खिदमत शुरू की, और ख़याल ये आया कि हमें पैगाम करबला पहुंचाना है, इमाम हुसैन की शहादत लोगों तक पहुंचानी है, और उसका कोई ना कोई तरीक़ा होना चाहिए। हमारी मजलिसें इसीलिए कायम हुई थी कि लोगों तक पैगाम करबला पहुँचे, लोगों तक शहादत इमाम हुसैन की सच्चाई और हक़ानियत पहुँचे। कोविड-19 की वजह से बहुत से लोग बेरोज़गार हो गए, बहुत से घरों में फाके की नौबत आ गई, बहुत से घर ऐसे थे जहां एक वक्त खाना बनता है और एक वक्त नहीं बनता है। मेरे जहन में ये ख्याल आया कि क्यों ना हम अय्याम अज़ा में इमाम हुसैन को खराज अक़ीदत पेश करने के लिए सीरत मासूम पे अमल करते हुए लोगों की भूख और प्यास मिटाने का कुछ काम कर सकें। लिहाजा हमने लास्ट ईयर 2020 में हुसैनी लंगर का एहतमाम किया, और मैं यकीन और दावे से कह सकता हूँ कि IMI की ये ऐसी खिदमत है जो कम अज़ कम अपनी कम्युनिटी में ये इकलौती करार पाई अभी तक किसी भी शहर, किसी भी गांव, किसी भी कस्बे में मुस्तकिल पहली मुहर्रम से 10 मुहर्रम तक लंगर की कोई तारीख हमें नज़र नहीं आई इस अहद में, इस दौर में। सिखों के यहाँ गुरुद्वारों में तो लंगर होता है, लेकिन शियों के यहाँ आज़ा खानों में लंगर नहीं होता। हम खड़े हुए, हमने अपनी टीम जमा की, रोज़ाना 500 पैकेट्स लंच पैकेट बनवाना, पैक करवाना और उनको गरीबों तक पहुंचाने का एक बेड़ा उठाया, और उसे झुग्गी में, झोपड़ियों में, खस्ता मकानों में रहने वालों तक भिजवाया। ساتھ میں ایک واٹر پیک بھی ہوتا، ساتھ میں ایک بروشیر یا ایک فولڈر بھی ہوتا جس پہ امام حسین علیہ السلام اور کربلا کی تاریخ مختصر لفظوں میں ہندی میں لکھی ہوتی تاکہ ہر شخص پڑھ لے۔ یہ 2002 میں یہ سلسلہ شروع ہوا تھا۔ ہر علاقے سے، ہر طرف سے اس کے لیے لوگ اپریشیٹ کرنے لگے، اس کے لیے دعائیں کرنے لگے۔ لوکل ٹی وی چینلوں نے اور میڈیا نے اور نیشنل میڈیا نے اسے کور کیا۔ جب لاسٹ ایئر بہت حوصلہ ملا تو یقیناً کووڈ ابھی بھی ہے، مجلسیں ابھی بھی اعلیٰ پیمانے پہ نہیں ہو رہی ہیں۔ اس سال پھر ہم نے یہ ہمت کی، گرچہ یہ بہت ہی جوخم اور بہت ہی محنت بھرا کام ہے، اس لیے کہ پیسہ دے دینا بڑا آسان ہے لیکن ذمہ داریاں لینا، ہائیجینک کھانا ہو اور اس میں کسی طریقے کی کوئی کمی نہ ہو اور ضرورت مندوں تک پہنچ جائے اور بہتر طریقے سے پہنچ جائے، تو یہ بڑی مشکل چیز تھی۔ لیکن خیر، مولا امام حسین حضرت ابا عبداللہ الحسین علیہ السلام کے نام پہ میں پھر کھڑا ہوا، اور اس سال الحمدللہ ابھی تک پہلی محرم سے لے کر اب تک روزانہ 500 پیکٹس بن رہے ہیں اور غریبوں تک جا رہے ہیں۔ اس بار ہمارا سینٹر AMU کا جین میڈیکل کالج کا ٹراما سینٹر ہے۔ اس ٹراما سینٹر پہ جتنے پیشنٹس آتے ہیں ان پیشنٹس کو تو اندر ایڈمٹ کر لیا جاتا ہے، لیکن ان کے اٹینڈنٹ باہر سڑکوں پہ بیچارے کھڑے رہتے ہیں بھوک اور پیاس کی حالت میں، صرف چائے پی کر وہ پورا وقت گزار دیتے ہیں۔ ہماری گاڑی روزانہ 1 بجے سے 2 بجے دن میں وہاں پہنچ جاتی ہے اور جتنے لوگ ہوتے ہیں سب کو وہ تبرک دے کر آتی ہے۔ ان کی خوشی کا اندازہ وہی کر سکتا ہے جو وہاں پہ رہتا ہے اور دیکھتا ہے۔
That seems like an incredible initiative. And how many families do you serve in Aligarh as well as in the surrounding areas?
اگر میں فیملیز کی اس بات کروں کہ ان کتنی فیملیز کو ہم لوگ سپورٹ کر رہے ہیں، تو فیملیز کو سپورٹ کرنے کے 2 طریقے ہیں۔ ایک ایمرجنسی فنڈنگ یا جو وقتی ہے، جیسے کووڈ-19 میں لاسٹ ایئر ہم لوگوں نے کیا، اور جیسے اس سال ہم لوگ نے کیا کہ ہم لوگوں نے راشن تقسیم کیے۔ لاسٹ ایئر کووڈ-19 میں ہم لوگوں نے تقریباً 500 فیملیز کو راشن کٹ دی۔ وہ راشن کٹ ایسی تھی جس میں 1 مہینے کا راشن کم از کم تھا کہ ان لوگوں تک وہ راشن کٹ پہنچائی گئی۔ اس سال پھر ماہ مبارک رمضان میں ہم لوگوں نے یہ سلسلہ قائم کیا تھا، اور اس سال بھی 300 سے زیادہ فیملی کو پوری راشن کٹ دی گئی، جس میں تقریباً 1 مہینے کا غلہ ہوتا، پورا ایسا غلہ کہ اگر فیملی میں 5 ممبر ہیں تو 5 ممبروں کو وہ پورا 1 مہینہ غلہ چل جائے۔ یہ تو ایک ایمرجنسی ڈسٹریبیوشن ہے اور اوکیزنل ہے۔ کچھ فیملیز ایسی ہیں جن کو منتھلی بیسس پہ ہم لوگ سپورٹ کرتے ہیں، اور اس میں ویڈوز ہیں، اورفن ہیں، ہینڈی کیپ ہیں، اور ایسے لوگ ہیں جو جاب لیس ہیں، جن کے پاس کوئی نہیں ہے اس وقت، سورس آف انکم نہیں ہے، تو ان لوگوں کو ہم لوگ منتھلی بیس پہ اس وقت سرو کر رہے ہیں۔ وہ تقریباً 60 to 70 فیملیز ہیں جن کو ہم لوگ ایوری منتھ سپورٹ کر رہے ہیں کسی نہ کسی طریقے سے، کسی کو راشن کے طور پہ، کسی کو راشن کے بدلے میں ان کے اکاؤنٹ میں اماؤنٹ ٹرانسفر کرا دیا گیا۔ اس طریقے سے تقریباً 70-75 فیملی علی گڑھ، اور علی گڑھ سے ہٹ کے کچھ دوسرے تیسرے شہروں میں بھی میں سمجھتا ہوں کم سے کم 10 شہروں کی 70 فیملی اس وقت سپورٹ کی جا رہی ہے، اور ان کو منتھلی ان کے ایکسپینڈیچر سے یا ان کی ضرورتوں کی جو چیزیں ہیں وہ پوری کرنے کی کوشش کی جا رہی ہیں۔
And can you talk a little bit more about the Aligarh Getwell Clinic? How long has it been running and how many patients do you see per day?
علی گڑھ کی IMI گیٹویل کلینک 2002 میں اسٹیبل ہوئی تھی۔ اس وقت صرف اور صرف 10 روپیز ایز اے رجسٹریشن فی لیے جاتے تھے اور 10 ڈیز کی میڈیسین دی جاتی تھی۔ وہ سلسلہ अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह बढ़ता गया बढ़ता गया और आज भी वो सिलसिला कायम है। 20 रुपीज़ एज ए रजिस्ट्रेशन फीस लिया जाता है और 3 डेज की मेडिसिन फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट पेशेंट को दी जाती है। एवरी डे 70 to 100 पेशेंट टर्न अप होते हैं और जिन्हें यहाँ देखा जाता है। इस क्लिनिक से रिलेटेड 2 प्रोजेक्ट और क्लिनिकल प्रोजेक्ट हम लोगों ने शुरू किए थे। एक है इमामिया मोबाइल क्लिनिक जो एक कस्बे में शुरू किया गया था 2014 में, और दूसरा इमामिया मोबाइल क्लिनिक ये जलाली में। तो गेटवेल क्लिनिक की ये क्लिनिकल 2 चीज़ें शुरू की गई थी। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह गेटवेल क्लिनिक पे ऐनुल्लाह आई यूनिट भी है, वेल एक्यूप्ड आई यूनिट। इसके अलावा यहाँ ईसीजी मरीज़ों का फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट कर दिया जाता है। यहाँ शुगर टेस्टिंग हो जाती है। यहाँ गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट भी बैठते हैं, यहाँ आई फिजिशियन भी बैठते हैं। तो एवरी डे 90 to 100 यहाँ का पेशेंट्स की का रजिस्ट्रेशन है और पूरे इलाके के लिए ये क्लिनिक एक बेहतरीन मदद का जरिया बनी हुई है।
And you also mentioned COVID-19. During this pandemic, how did IMI Aligarh support the local community? What aid were you able to provide during this time?
कोविड-19 सेकंड वेव में तो IMI क्लिनिक के मेंबरान ने सर पे कफन बांधकर लोगों की मदद की। ऐसा वक्त था कि जिस वक्त कोई अपने घर से निकलना नहीं चाहता था, ऐसा वक्त था जिस वक्त में अजीज़ों ने अपने अजीज़ों के जनाजे छोड़ दिए थे। उस मौके पे भी IMI अलीगढ़ ने अपनी खिदमात से हाथ नहीं उठाया और क्लिनिक भी चलती रही। इसलिए चलती रही कि बहुत से पेशेंट ऐसे थे जिनकी ऑनलाइन प्रिस्क्रिप्शन उनको होता था। अब उनको मेडिसिन कहाँ से मिले, तो मेडिसिन के लिए हम लोगों ने ऑफर कर रखा था कि आपको अगर कोविड की कहीं से भी सिम्टम है, आप आइए, ऑनलाइन प्रिस्क्रिप्शन भी अगर आपका है तो हम आपको मेडिसिन देने को तैयार हैं। हम लोग के पास जो केस आते थे, हम लोग पूरे कोविड रूल्स को फॉलो करते हुए पेशेंट्स को देखते भी थे, उनकी मेडिसिन भी देते थे। इससे हटकर जो सबसे बड़ी खिदमत थी कि जब ऑक्सीजन की मारा मारी थी और एक एक ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर जो आम दिनों में 2000 का मिलता है, वो उन दिनों में 25,000 और 30,000 का मिल रहा था। लेकिन IMI अलीगढ़ ने पैसों की परवाह नहीं की, ब्लैक से जाकर ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर खरीदे और लोगों को प्रोवाइड किया। इसके बाद IMI हेड क्वार्टर की तरफ से ऑक्सीजन कंसंट्रेटर प्रोवाइड कराया गया और ऑक्सीजन कंसंट्रेटर जब आया तो लोगों में एक सुकून की सांस लोगों ने ली कि कोई तो है जिसने मोमिन के बारे में, एक जनरल कम्युनिटी के बारे में सोचा। और हम लोगों ने बगैर किसी भेदभाव के और बगैर किसी कम्युनल फीलिंग के हर शख्स को प्रोवाइड किया। चुनांचे हमारी लिस्ट में गैर मुस्लिम भी हैं, गैर शिया भी हैं, जिन लोगों को ऑक्सीजन कंसंट्रेटर प्रोवाइड किया गया और उनकी लाइफ सेव की गई। तो एक बहुत बड़ी खिदमत कोविड-19 सेकंड वेव में ये हुई कि जान की परवाह किए बगैर IMI टीम ने लोगों की मदद की। और यकीनन ये ऐसा वक्त था कि सब डरे हुए थे, मैं खुद डरा हुआ था, लेकिन मौत तो एक दिन आनी है, ये सोच करके आ ही जाएगी तो क्या करना, और मैदान में कूद पड़े थे। अल्लाह ने हम लोगों को हयात बख्शी और लोगों को खिदमत का मौका दिया। ऑक्सीजन कंसंट्रेटर के साथ हम लोगों ने बहुत से लोगों को पल्स ऑक्सीमीटर भी प्रोवाइड किया और आज भी हमारे क्लिनिक पे तकरीबन 20 ऑक्सीजन कंसंट्रेटर और सैकड़ों पल्स ऑक्सीमीटर हैं कि कभी भी अगर कहीं ज़रूरत होगी तो हम लोग उसको प्रोवाइड करने के लिए हाजिर हैं।
Thank you so much, Dr. Vasi Jaffrey, and thank you so much, Dr. Mubarak Naqvi. Both of your initiatives and experiences, I'm sure the viewers have gained a lot of benefit from hearing about all of the work that IMI Aligarh and IMI India has done and will continue to do, inshallah.
मैं एक चीज़ और इसमें गुजारिश करना चाहूँगा कि IMI इंडिया ने, IMI अलीगढ़ ने हिंदुस्तान में लोगों को जितनी खिदमत पहुंचाई है, शायद हम दूसरे लोगों तक अपनी खबर उतनी नहीं पहुंचा सके। इमाम हुसैन अलैहिस्सलाम के नाम पर 2014 से एवरी ईयर हम लोग मुहर्रम में हुसैनी आई कैंप ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं, मुहर्रम क्या पूरे अय्याम अज़म में। और इस हुसैनी आई कैंप में आने वाले कैटरेक्ट पेशेंट का बगैर किसी भेदभाव के हर कौम व मिल्लत का शख्स जो भी है उसका इमाम हुसैन इस्लाम के नाम पे फ्री कैटरेक्ट ऑपरेशन कराया जाता है। सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक डिक्लेरेशन पेशेंट से ली जाती है कि वो एक सेल्फ डिक्लेरेशन पे फॉर्म पे साइन करता है कि मेरी आंखों का ऑपरेशन इमाम हुसैन अलैहिस्सलाम के नाम पर फ्री में कराया गया है, मुझसे कोई पैसा नहीं लिया गया। 2014 में ये सिलसिला शुरू हुआ था, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह अब तक जारी है। लास्ट ईयर 2021 में हम लोगों ने 228 केसेस हिंदुस्तान के 5-6 शहरों में घूम घूम कर ऑपरेशन कराए, कैंप कराए, कोविड-19 को पेश नज़र रखते हुए भी। और ये इतनी बड़ी खिदमत है कि जिस खिदमत को लोग भुला नहीं सकते, इसलिए कि हिंदुस्तान का मिजाज ये है कि एक छोटा सा भी ऑपरेशन यहाँ किसी का होता है तो बहुत सारे लोग उसकी अयादत के लिए आ जाते हैं। आँखों का ऑपरेशन होता है तो यकीनन लोग आते होंगे पूछने के लिए, तो अब मरीज़ ज़रूर बताता होगा कि नहीं मुझसे कोई पैसा नहीं लिया गया, किसने कराया, तो अरे इमाम हुसैन इस्लाम के नाम पे फलां लोग थे कि कुछ लोग थे उन्होंने कराया है। तो ये तबलीग का एक बेहतरीन ज़रिया हम लोगों ने बनाया और अब तक तकरीबन 1000 से ज़्यादा 1000 से अबव ऑपरेशन हम लोग करा चुके हैं। हुसैनी ब्लड डोनेशन कैंप अलीगढ़ की तारीख का एक अहम चैप्टर है। 2007 में ये हुसैनी आई कैंप शुरू हुआ था, उस ज़माने में जिस ज़माने में कोई सोच भी नहीं सकता था कि कोई ब्लड डोनेशन कैंप भी कराना चाहिए हमें या नहीं, इसलिए कि जंजीर जनी और कमा जनी ने लोगों को इतना घेर रखा था कि इस तरफ कोई सोच नहीं सकता था। मैं अकेला IMI की तरफ से खड़ा हुआ था, अल्लाह ने मदद की, मौला ने कबूल किया, आज तक वो सिलसिला कायम है और कम से कम हम लोग 1500 लोगों की जानों को सेव कर चुके हैं और इतने ही यूनिट ब्लड हम लोग दे चुके हैं मेडिकल कॉलेज में। और एक लेटर पैड, IMI के लेटर पैड पे अगर एक रिक्वेस्ट लिख कर ब्लड बैंक के नाम दे दी जाती है कि फलां पेशेंट को ये ब्लड दे दिया जाए, तो ब्लड बैंक विदिन 1 आवर फ्री में वो ब्लड प्रोवाइड कर देता है। ये दो खिदमात इमाम हुसैन अलैहिस्सलाम के नाम से ऐसी मंसूब हैं जिसे भुलाया नहीं जा सकता। हुसैनी एम्बुलेंस सर्विस भी इन्हीं खिदमात में से एक खिदमत है जो 2013 से अलीगढ़ में जारी है। इमाम हुसैन अलैहिस्सलाम के नाम से हुसैनी आई कैंप, हुसैनी एम्बुलेंस सर्विस, हुसैनी ब्लड डोनेशन कैंप, बस अब्दुल्लाह हम लोगों की इन खिदमत को कबूल फरमा लें। शुक्रिया।
Butul, if you allow me, I would like to add a small point here that similar to the services that have been provided by IMI Getwell Clinic in Aligarh, a lot of services are being provided by the IMI Getwell Clinic in Hyderabad as well. During the COVID times, the Hyderabad clinic was pivotal in providing oxygen support to the patients, in providing treatment to COVID as well as non-COVID patients, and similarly distribution of a lot of food packets for the needy and for the poor, because a lot of people lost their jobs. It was a lockdown, so people couldn't go out. So it was really tough for the poor section of the society. And just like it happened in Aligarh, a lot of services were provided in Hyderabad Getwell Clinic as well. And as far as the oxygen concentrators are concerned, IMI headquarters did not provide oxygen concentrators to Aligarh alone, but these concentrators were sent to Aligarh, to New Delhi, to Gurgaon, to Hyderabad, Bangalore, Varanasi, and a number of cities across the country. Hundreds of oxygen concentrators were coordinated at the headquarter level, and IMI global headquarters in the US did a lot of work in procuring, because the concentrators were not available in India. They had to be imported. So some of our stalwarts at the headquarters, they especially Masood Bhai, they coordinated, they procured that, they made the payments at the global level, and they made sure that different cities of India received these oxygen concentrators, which turned out to be life-saving in the times of COVID, as India was hit by oxygen shortage. Thank you.
Thank you so much, both to Dr. Vasi Jafri and to Dr. Mubarak Naqvi.
Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to invite Dr. Nuzhat Shiko Zaidi. At present, she is working in the Emmanuel Medical Center, Turlock, California. She serves as the IMI U.S. Director of Media and Publications, serves a key role at the MyTV team, and has provided resources and funding for our clinic in Lucknow. Welcome, Dr. Nuzhat Shiko.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Nuzhat, you have played many roles at IMI. How have you been connected to the organization over the years?
I came to this country in October of 93 and I took the flex exam in December of 93. And the person sitting next to me was also Zed. So he introduced me to IMI and he said that he's staying in a. He's staying. I told him the hotel wherever I was staying at that time, and he said that he, along with his friends, staying from one of doctor's houses, the Dr. Wajir Rizvi's house. Actually, it was in Pennsylvania those days, and was staying with his there and for the exam period. And his Dr. Wajir's wife was cooking for them, and everything was good for them and free for them. So he said that, "Can I give your number to Dr. Wajir?" I said, "Fine, yeah." And after that, to Dr. Wajir, and since then I got involved with IMI. And it was before even the I was registered as IMI. And after that, it we started. We did a international conference in San Francisco. The first international conference, IMI was my husband Iqbal Zaidi and me in San Francisco here. And I asked Dr. Virasat Shiko Kashmiri, my uncle, to come and lecture, and he also introduced Kayumi to IMI, and then he became instrumental in getting the IMI recognized by the UN as a. After that, once the UNO recognized the IMI, it became like a tax deductible donation for IMI, and since then we started expanding a lot. The IMI became more and more expanding and still expanding. Inshallah, it will keep doing that. And since then, we are doing a lot of projects and increasingly doing all those projects since then. Yeah.
And currently, you are the Director of Media and Publication for IMI USA. How has the process for the launch of MyTV been?
The process has been a kind of a little difficult with not much funding and not much. So mostly it started with the Dr. Wajid's vision of having the My TV, and that with some little bit of funding and uh, help from Mr. Ashar Zaidi, we we wanted to launch it on Eid Ghadir, and we did that. Ultimately, we did that, even though not in perfect It was not a very perfect launch, but we did it. We accomplished of launching it on that Eid Ghadir day, and it's improving. And inshallah, it will keep moving, hopefully, with the help of all the IMI members and everyone in our community. Also, hopefully, will help out, and it will improve. And with our experience, also, it will improve.
And you have also generously donated a piece of ancestral land in Lucknow as the site for our newest clinic. Can you tell us about where it is located and how you came to that decision?
That house was a mom's house in Maqbara Aliya Golaganj. Maqbara Aliya Golaganj is a place where the Kashmiri refugees, the Shia Kashmiri refugees, came during the Dogra Raj and during some ne Awad time, and they were in that place in Maqbara Aliya Golaganj, and that's where like 100% people who were mostly at that time were from Kashmir and were Shias, and that's our actually ancestor also. So this is where it is, and still most of the population there is from our community, Shias, and we observe like it's like a home for like one home for a big community in the Maqbara Aliya Golaganj, and that's where it is located. And the house is actually given for a clinic, especially mm, like for these people. Though there are like hospitals, but sometimes uh, when something happens or any catastrophe happens, then it's not easy to get all the facilities and the hospitals and everything. So what I was thinking to get the polyclinic there, so like in different days, different specialists is there, and then the like one day there's a general practitioner, one day there's an eye doctor or some endocrinologist, or it's like that we are planning. And along with that, I'm also planning that there should be, the clinic would be in the name of my sister, actually whose house was it actually, Mr. Miss Talat, and so it will be the Talat Shiko Memorial Clinic. And I also want to make Professor Mehdi Hassan Memorial Learning Center there, so that in India they do certain exams for entering into the government service, not the big ones like even clerical jobs and stuff, like the other small jobs. So they do tests. So many of our the people, especially the girls, are very educated there, and especially for the women, I think it'll be the good idea to train those women and also the youth of the other men also of our country, so that they can excel in those exams and get the opportunities in the government jobs. So that's one plan, and so that they can some community members can come up and teach them about how these exams are taken and what to do in that. So this is one plan, and the other was I was thinking, I don't know if it's a need there that much or not, that those women who are working and have small children, they can and instead of like, it's a babysitting is a big problem, so that they can leave those children to the women of the same community, elderly women especially, who can like, raised like our by our grandmas, getting stories from them, all those they were. So I want the children, these mothers also get raised like we were raised, like they get taken care by the community, and they get all the same uh, all the same stories, and the like we are like start with like Panjatan Park and Panjatan Panch or like and this that, so that they don't go anywhere else. So that's one thing. And the other thing was there was a thing for my TV. They were supposed to build a studio for whatever lectures we doing, so that then they can contribute for my TV also from that house. They are construction. It's under construction right now, and I actually don't know how long will it take to complete. It has been under construction for about 2 months or so. So it's getting ready for the community, hopefully soon.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nuzhat, and I'm sure the viewers are very excited to hear more about the construction and see the end result. And thank you so much for your time.
Thanks a lot.
Let's hear some welcome messages for my TV.
इमामिया मेडिक्स इंटरनेशनल जो यूनाइटेड नेशंस एक्रेडिटेटेड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, इंशाल्लाह इस साल गदीर पे इमामिया टेलीविज़न नेटवर्क लॉन्च करने जा रही है. इट विल बी कॉल्ड माई टीवी, मेडिक्स इंटरनेशनल टेलीविज़न. It will be the first academic channel of our community. It will start, inshallah, in 4 languages: English, Urdu, Arabic, and Persian. It will start on the weekends, and gradually the programming will be increased. It will feature academicians and experts from all different disciplines, and it will be geared towards all communities and all generations, especially the young generation. So a lot of programming and a lot of content development is going on in the background, and inshallah all of you will enjoy it.
I would like to ask everyone to promote this television channel of IMI, and I would like to ask everybody to please promote, and not only just promote and make the successful all the efforts and the programs and the and the programs of IMI in the service of humanity.
Here at IMI Women Wings, we are very excited to be a part of the IMI new TV channel, and we wish all the best for this new endeavor, which is very much needed in our community for the education and awareness, in especially in the health and education level. So all my best wishes to IMI news channel, and looking forward to be part of it. And IMI Wing will be a great part of your this new initiative, so we can educate our women in the community and globally.
तड़प तड़प के फोन कर रही है मैं वो मास्क लगा जा आजा आजा
India's healthcare system is struggling amid a devastating second wave of COVID-19.
आज कॉल आ गया कि वो खत्म हो गए
With reports of oxygen and medicine shortages.
ऑक्सीजन भी सर खत्म हो रही है But I can't save my sister. No gas, no oxygen, no bed.
इंटरनेशनल इंडियन चैप्टर ने IMI हेडक्वार्टर से दरख्वास्त की और IMI हेडक्वार्टर ने आनंद फानन में दर्जनों कंसंट्रेटर का इंतज़ाम किया जिससे मुख्तलिफ़ शहरों में भेजा गया और सिर्फ शहरों में नहीं चूँकि अब ये इन्फेक्शन शहर की हदूद से निकल कर गाँव की सरहदों तक पहुँच चुका है और गाँव में भी कैजुअलिटी और अमवात का सिलसिला शुरू हो गया है लिहाजा हम लोगों की कोशिश है कि हम गाँव के सतह पर भी इमामिया मेडिक्स की खिदमत को पहुंचा सकें अभी हमें इलाहाबाद, बनारस, जौनपुर, गाज़ीपुर, मुबारकपुर, आजमगढ़, घोसी, मेरठ, मुजफ्फरनगर इन इलाकों में भी हमें ऑक्सीजन कंसंट्रेटर भेजना है
आज मैं इस हॉस्पिटल के धक्के खा रहा हूँ, कल दूसरे के खा रहा हूँ, हाथ जोड़ रहा हूँ, सबके पैसे भी दे रहा हूँ।
ऑक्सीजन की वजह से मेरा पति मारा इन्होंने
जो पेशेंट क्रिटिकल है वो उनके लिए आप ऑक्सीजन तो अरेंज करा
During the COVID-19 pandemic, IMI headquarters has worked 24/7 to fundraise, source, and distribute hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of PPE, medical supplies, and emergency medical aid. This year, during the surge in COVID-19 cases in India, Mr. Masood Rizvi led the coordination of IMI's COVID response in India. Mr. Masood Rizvi leads our finance department. Welcome.
Thank you very much, and Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
So, can you explain to the viewers what some of the difficulties were that you faced during this time?
Okay, there were multidimensional difficulties and problems from legal to country and logistical. First of all, there is a law in India which is called FCRA, is Foreign Currency Regulation Act. Government of India had revoked a lot of NGOs and institutions which had these this permission to get the funding from overseas, including Amnesty International. Those few remaining ones were told that they have to open an account in New Delhi, and government had not directed the banks how to open that account. So to send the money to India from IMI was very difficult. It was next to impossible because of this legal issue. Second biggest hurdle was to procure and get these uh, help on the ground. The situation was bad. We were getting the calls from everywhere, and after analyzing what would be the right way to go, because we were thinking to buy oxygen cylinder and oxygen itself, but oxygen were not available. Even hospitals were not getting the oxygen. So that option dropped out. Other alternate was to buy oxygen concentrator. Oxygen concentrator were not easily available. They were being sold in black market. And this was another second hurdle which we were facing. Third was to prepare the logistics. So immediately I started contacting our partners to know what they are doing, where they are working, because at IMI we believe not to do duplication, and to help and some to help our partners to enhance the help needed by the needy people in particular time and moment, and not waste the money by duplicating it. So our partners told us that what area they are helping, we inform them that where we are going to help, so that we do not duplicate each other or compete with each other. As for procurement, fortunately, when there is intention, Allah opens the door. We came to know about a vendor, who international vendor, and we approached the vendor, and fortunately, it became very easy for us. Although today I'm saying it is easy, but it wasn't easy at that time when we started. The prices of oxygen concentrator were changing hour by hour in India. So it was a question of talking now, and if the payment is not made within 2 hours, we go back, the prices are up by $50, $60. There was a time by end of March, 5 liter concentrator in New Delhi were being sold for $5,000. So Alhamdulillah, we never paid that price, but we had to struggle and be on top of our toes. HQ, where all this work in India we were doing with cooperation of I'm a global president, Dr. Mubarak Naqvi. We had Dr. Riaz, IMI India Chapter president, and also Dr. Wasi Jafri, IMI Aligarh. We were working together with them and other people as well. A lot of people were there involved, communicating, coordinating, and assisting each other. The third and biggest logistic problem was to get these concentrator. It should be remembered that it was COVID, there was a lockdown. So it was not easy to get the machine itself, and then they had to be dispersed in interior. If somebody knows very well Indian geography, we at the end today now when we are talking, I see the whole map, and we were from Kashmir in the north to Bangalore in south, and Hyderabad covering northeast to Patna and Lucknow, going all the way back to Delhi. And this whole area we covered. It was a momentous job, a momentous task, which was Alhamdulillah accomplished very well at the end of the day. And we are thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that.
And you also mentioned the oxygen concentrators. How did IMI source these concentrators?
Thank you. It is a good question. Oxygen concentrator were not available while we started. It was a rare commodity, and the availability was very hard. Fortunately, we found this vendor, international vendor, with whom we at the end of the day we had a very good trust we established with them, and they would take word of our mouth to say, okay, we are sending this much money for this many quantities of concentrator, and they even helped us in logistics to get those concentrator delivered to the villages as well. So they say that whenever you have got a good intention, Allah opens the way. And this was the way we found this vendor, and the vendor was very helpful. We didn't have the problem of finance because Indian government, we couldn't send the money to India. There was a problem. This was international vendor, so it was very easy for us to do that. But even while remitting international money, it takes 2 days. And as I mentioned earlier, prices were going up, but this vendor was sticking on the price what we had agreed and giving us supplying us the oxygen concentrator. The best part was that we were not only buying oxygen concentrator, we were buying oximeter as well to go with the oxygen concentrator, because we realized very early that even if we are giving, how would it be enforced in the ground? Let us say there are 10 patients, who deserves more among those? So we had to provide at least 5 to 10 oximeter with each machine, and all the patient would be analyzed according to the requirement after using that oximeter, that who deserves the most. And that is the way we were doing. We bought around 600 oximeters as well, and 149 oxygen cylinders. At the end of the day, when we stopped, we had distributed 149 oxygen concentrator.
Thank you so much, Mr. Masood Rizvi, and I'm sure the viewers can really appreciate all of the effort that went behind this project. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dr. Sayed Riaz Mehdi is a professor and head of the Department of Pathology at Era Medical College in Lucknow, India. He serves as the president of IMI India. Dr. Sayed Riaz Mehdi coordinates projects across India, including the Lucknow Clinic, Hyderabad Getwell Clinic, and the Eye Operating Theatre.
Salamun alaikum.
Welcome, Dr. Sayed Riaz Mehdi.
We were in Aligarh in 1999. Myself and Dr. Mubarak Naqvi both. Dr. Mubarak Naqvi was a medical student at that time. And it was in 1999 only when we were exposed and introduced to IMI by Vaji Bhai. Practically, I have never heard of IMI before that. And how we were introduced, and we have seen their literature and what they have done so far, their objectives, and we were definitely impressed by all the work which had already been carried out by IMI. It's mostly in Pakistan, not in India and other places in the United States. We were asked to form a team and establish the Indian chapter. We formed a team with some of our students, very active students, of course led by Dr. Mubarak Naqvi, who has got a very good organizational capacity, and there were some of our teachers, some of our colleagues, and we have taken some medical students of other streams also, like Unani and homeopathy also. So we formed a team and we established the Indian chapter. That was very much in infancy in 1999. And the first year, we were thrown a challenge by Vaji Bhai that we should organize an international conference in India itself. So we think now that was definitely a challenge for us, and we accepted challenge, and then that paid dividends. Because in year 2000, we organized the first international conference of IMI at New Delhi, one of the best conference venues for the conference, India International Center. A lot of delegates come from different countries, from USA, from Pakistan, from Canada, Iraq, Iran, Syria, and of course, a lot of delegates from India itself. It was a 2 days affair in Delhi itself. Then from there we went to Agra. So of course the visit to Taj Mahal is a must when you come to India. And then the IMI team came down to Aligarh also, and we shown them our campus in AMU. And I'm sure all the delegates were quite happy with whatever was extended to them, the hospitality and the conference deliberations in the conference. And that's how we formed the team, and all our delegates, the members of IMI India, were motivated by that conference. And we established a clinic first in Aligarh itself. The history of the clinic is like that. There was a Maulana Bahraini in India in the late 80s and early 90s. He formed a Hayya al-Falah society, and he built up 3-story complex in one of the Muslim-dominated areas, mostly by our brethren, Sunni Muslims. A few Shia houses were also there. He had to leave India. Then the society which he had formed took over the organization of this society. They had a huge building at their disposal. They first experimented with a school. They opened up a school in the building itself, which they tried to run for almost 2 years, but they were not successful in running that school also. And after some time, the school closed down. I had a lot of friends in that society. Some of them were medicos, some of them were non-medicos. So I motivated them that please hand over this building to us, at least this building which has been given to us for the charity purposes by Maulana Bahraini. We should do something. So we had this idea by our IMI team that we should open up a clinic at that building. We have taken one floor, the ground floor of the building. That's a huge building, and we started that clinic. The name first given to that clinic by our team was Getwell Clinic. The founders of that clinic were, I must not forget the name of the founders, the people who joined us at the very first stage of the clinic. There was one Dr. Ahmed Raza, who was our medical officer, and there was one Dr. Jafar Abdi. There was one teacher, the professor of gynecology in Tibia College, Dr. Qamar Madam. She was serving as a gynecologist in our clinic. I, being in the medical college, had a lot of friends, and we established the clinic with we had a very minimum resources at our disposal. Some of my friends, even the non-Shia friends, they donated some furniture, somebody donated chairs, somebody donated some equipments, somebody donated a fridge, and we somehow started the clinic. We engaged a pharmacist also. He was not a qualified pharmacist, but he had experience of working as a pharmacist. So he was working as a compounder. First, we started the clinic for 2 hours in the evening. There was absolutely no registration fee, but we found that whatever medicines we give them, the patients don't take it seriously, and they are thrown. So after some time, we put up just a nominal meager fee of 10 rupees as a registration fee, and most of the patients were benefited of that area, especially our Sunni brothers who used to come to that clinic. They said कि सर हमारे लोग तो आते हैं और सिर्फ तबलीग करके चले जाते हैं, लेकिन सही मानों में तो खिदमत आप ही लोग कर रहे हैं हमारी. So that Getwell name was appreciated, was adapted by our IMI head office also. And another clinic at Hyderabad was opened up with the same name of Getwell Clinic. After some time, about in the year 2000, one of my friends who won the election as an MLA of Aligarh city, Mr. Vivek Bansal, I invited him as the chief guest and organized a medical relief camp, which was opened up by him, inaugurated by him. We had a lot of patients, and I used to invite different doctors of different specialties on different days, orthopedics, cardiologists, to attend these patients. It was just simply a charitable work. No doctor used to charge anything for them. Then after 1 year, another year, we coordinated with the CMO, Chief Medical Officer of Aligarh, and we were supposed to establish a vaccination clinic, in the immunization clinic in our Getwell Clinic itself. In 2003, I had to leave Aligarh, and I went to Saudi Arabia. The clinic was, by that time, Dr. Ahmed Raza was was engaged in WHO. The clinic was handed over to Dr. Wasi Jafri, who is still very much there, and doctor and one more doctor, he was there, and they took over the clinic, and they really worked very hard for that clinic. And now after almost 10 years, so almost more than 15 years, the clinic has blossomed. They have got an ambulance, they have got dental chair, other doctors also coming. An old building has been demolished, a new building has come up on that place, and they are doing a lot of work. And beside the clinic, the medical checkup clinic, they have opened up a coaching center there with the name of Super 14 in the beginning. Now it has become Super 72 on Chaharda Masuin, and then 72 Shahidan Karbala, and they're doing a really good job, Dr. Wasi Jafri and their team. Now it is taken over by them. We had formed a society also, so they are managing the society and the funds from Aligarh itself. I went abroad and I came back after almost 10 years. I used to go and visit the clinic, but practically I was, since I was not in Aligarh, so clinic is run by the team which is present in Aligarh. So that's a brief history of IMI India when we started it Aligarh. Now I would take up the questions which have been given to me by your team. The first is IMI activities in India. So I have already told you a bit about the clinic, about the IMI activities. That was in Aligarh. The first clinic was started in Aligarh. Then a chapter, our Hyderabad chapter and Bangalore chapter is also quite active, doing their own activities. Hyderabad Getwell Clinic is also quite active. They are organizing different types of camps and engaging and looking after a lot of patients. In Bangalore, there is one lady who is also on our panel of directors, and she is looking after the Bangalore part of the IMI and doing a good job there. In Lucknow, because Lucknow is the hub, there are a lot of Shias in Lucknow, and they've got so many organizations of doctors and non-doctors working in different charitable fields working. So there was not much for the IMI itself to do something here, because we already have a Hadi Medics, the organization of Shia doctors who are doing a lot, and there are Tanzeem, and there are so many other organizations run by Maulanas, by medicos and by non-medicos. But now we have started doing something in Lucknow itself. And in Lucknow, thanks to Dr. Nuzhat Shiko, she has donated her ancestral house to IMI. And we are on renovating that. She has donated funds also for the renovation of that house. And we are renovating that house. That will be very soon will be converted to our head Lucknow office, and a polyclinic, the Getwell Clinic of Lucknow, IMI clinic will also be opened up there. We have plans to open up a coaching center for the medical students who are entering the MBBS and the PG courses also, and for some daycare center as advised by Dr. Nuzhat Shiko. So inshallah, within few months, IMI Lucknow would be taking up a lot of projects when we get that building and that is handed over to us. So far we are mobilizing and increasing the membership of IMI chapter of Lucknow. We have our women's wing. The next question is what the women's wing is doing. So as such, we have not, frankly speaking, not formed a women wing itself in India, but they are very much associated, especially in Aligarh. We have got a lot of medical students, the girls, and medical students and non-medical students who work in our medical relief camp, in the coaching centers. In Lucknow also, whenever we are doing something, the girls of the medical students and non-medical students, they come along, and as such, and sometimes occasionally these girls, these lady doctors, they go to the madrasas, especially the Tanzim al-Makatib and all. They give lectures and attend to the grievances of the girls studying in madrasas. The third question asked from me, projects in Lucknow, that I've already told you. The projects in Lucknow are very much the office and the polyclinic which is coming up, and inshallah very soon we shall be taking over that clinic, and we shall start working in Lucknow itself. And we are coordinating with other organizations like Hadi Medics and other organizations which are run by Kalbe Sadhu Saab's organization, TMT. I'm collaborating with them also. And we plan to do a lot of things in Lucknow. We have already been doing during pandemics. So because the next question is about the pandemic, how we have done in pandemic. In pandemic, myself and other members of IMI have been very much involved in this, because the month of April and May was very, very difficult for us. Almost every day, I was almost 24/7 on the phone. So our doctors, and especially myself and other doctors, they were continuously on the phone. The patients whom we could manage to get a bed for we tried to mobilize our resources and get these patients of COVID, and those who were not able to get bed in the hospitals, we tried to provide consultation on the phone to these patients, and some of the doctors visited the patients at home also. And then after some time, we were provided by IMI head office the oxygen concentrators. There were really a lot of crisis of oxygen. You must have heard everywhere what happened to our patients here. But by the time the concentrators reached to us, the situation has improved a lot. We had received 10 concentrators in Lucknow. 5 was directly in IMI, and 5 was with another organization in a collaboration with IMI. So one of that concentrators was given in Lucknow itself. That was with a lady she had a lot of breathing problems. It was with them for about 20 days. It was returned to us, and they were very much obliged to IMI. And another concentrator of 5 liters was handed over to our office in Pihani. Some of the Mominin from there, they have taken that concentrator. Some of the concentrators are still lying with us, and we hope, inshallah, that will not be utilized, because now the things have improved. All the hospitals and medical colleges are installing the oxygen plants. So we hope, inshallah, that the crisis of oxygen will not be there. But even then, concentrators are there, and we shall provide these oxygen concentrators whenever somebody needs. The last question is, what is the next plan? Our next plan. So the immediate plan is, because we have done a lot of work during pandemics, so IMI, because as I told you, there are so many other organizations who are working at the same time in Lucknow. IMI has also been exposed to the people of Lucknow, which is the largest concentration of Shias in India, and we are increasing our membership. We have got the membership drive, and whenever we start our polyclinic in the residence, in the house donated by Dr. Nizhat Shiko, we shall be starting that clinic, as well as our coaching center and the daycare center. I think that's, I've already told you, because I have given hardly 7 or 8 minutes. I have taken all the time, and thank you so much. I thank the team for considering me for this interview. I thank Wajib Bhai, our global president, Dr. Mubarak Naqvi, and the entire team of IMI for cooperating with IMI India. Thank you so much.
My name is Zuhair Ali. I'm from Pakistan. I work in New York Presbyterian Queens in New York, and I'm the research director for emergency medicine, which is a residency program. So my responsibilities there are I take care of the residents, their research project, I work with the faculty with their research projects, I work with medical students, and I've been working with a lot of IMGs and FMGs who come from abroad, from all over the world. I learned about them through a website, and I saw them in Al-Khoi Foundation in New York. One day I sent an email out to him. I said, hey, do you want to work together, or maybe we can collaborate? You're doing the same thing, I'm doing the same thing in New York side, and then maybe we can come up with a better, solution for IMGs and FMGs from abroad. Since then, I have been doing lectures for him. So I work more academia for him. So I do seminars in his office. So we do a monthly seminar, research seminars for all the IMG, FMGs who are there. IMI supports all IMG, FMG. When they come to this country, they provide housing for them. They will take them in for like an externship, observership. Then what they do is they reach out to other physicians within their network who can help them provide assistance. I've been working with IMI for the past 4 years, and every year that I come, the students are increasing, the numbers are increasing, and there's a great stories for all the IMI students. They eventually end up, matching. Most of them end up matching. Most of them end up having a great career. Some of them end up, having an alternative career. But at the end of the day, everyone is happy and excited that they've come through this pathway, and they learned a lot. A couple of students, they said great things about IMI and their services. One of the students who I met at the seminar, they said, without IMI's help, they wouldn't be able to get to New York. They were from Pakistan, India. There was one from Eastern European country. So without their help, they wouldn't be able to come here and experience the U.S. Medical system, and they would not be able to get into the system here. So this great stories, they assist people, with visas and letters to help them get here. It's the first step. Then after that, they diverge them to other faculty members who can help them. I'm very satisfied. I was just involved in a video where they were showing that they were all around the world. And I was very impressed. I didn't know, they were participating in 55 different countries. I was very impressed myself. The big picture is we need to get this word out, the story out, that we are really helping, and it's really expanding like fire. Silver Jubilee Conference in Pakistan, it is very exciting to me because number one, I've never been to Islamabad, and number two, the exciting part about it is there's going to be people all over the world that will attend this conference. So I'm really excited to plan my trip with my family members to go there, and I'm presenting something. So I'm going to present something about research, and I want to meet all the faculty from all over the world, and I'm excited to meet everyone who's going to attend there. Last time I went to Pakistan for my own wedding, which was a couple of years ago, I did not find any negative things. Everyone was so positive. Everyone was excited to see me. I was excited to see them. People were very helpful. The food was great. I ate food from the streets. I ate food from the restaurants. So to me, everything tasted the same. Everything was well organized. Every time I went there, I never had a problem in Pakistan. So the environment itself is great. I encourage everyone to come and support this event that we're having.
It is currently Muharram, but COVID still exists, so it is upon all of us to be responsible azadars. Now let's meet with our infectious disease specialist who can tell us more about how to be responsible.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Fazia Kamar, and I am an infectious disease specialist in the Greater Boston area. I am also the IMI representative of the New England chapter. It's my honor to serve in IMI's mission and vision from Quranic verse, and whoso saveth the life of one, and it is as if he has saved mankind. In our efforts to serve our community, we have set up these educational programs regarding COVID-19. Today, I will be addressing frequently asked questions regarding COVID-19. If there are some common questions that are not covered today, then you can also find those answers in other talks given by my other infectious disease colleagues on this channel. So let's start with some of the very common questions which I get. A very common question and concern that we commonly get are concerns regarding vaccines, its effectiveness, and concerns for unknowns and things heard on social media especially. First of all, I do want to emphasize that we should never miss an opportunity to get vaccinated or counsel people on vaccination. Vaccination is the single best way which can end this pandemic. The comparative data and numbers are very clear. 1 in 30 deaths due to COVID-19 are in unvaccinated individuals as compared to 1 in 1 million in vaccinated individuals. There is a study survey by Kaiser Permanente that 4 out of 5 people who are not vaccinated believe something bad about the vaccine. There is unfortunately a lot of misinformation regarding vaccines. It's unfortunate that in August 2021, the US vaccination rate so far is almost only 50%. Please know that there is active misinformation campaigns on social media. Millions of dollars are being spent to make stuff against the vaccines. And if you are a victim of this hack and you have concerns regarding vaccinations, please reach one of us. I would strongly advocate towards vaccine. Let's address some questions regarding children and COVID-19. Question has been asked that children cannot get very sick from the virus. So why should they wear a mask and why should I vaccinate my child? That's correct. That luckily we have seen a much lower death and hospitalization rate in children. However, children can still get very sick from COVID-19. Long COVID symptoms have been estimated to occur in 1 in 25 children. And there is a study published in a very well-renowned medical journal called JAMA, where they did a longitudinal study of 55 schools in Switzerland. And they see that 3% children suffered from 12 weeks or more of fatigue. 2% had difficulty in concentration. Another 2% had difficulty with sleep, and they felt they needed more sleep. 1 in 25 had symptoms of COVID lasting for more than 3 months, even after their COVID infection was resolved. For me, this is a tremendous loss for a child, which will interfere with their growth, with their learning, with their health, and with their general well-being. Another important thing to remember is MISSC. This is the multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children caused by COVID-19. This is a syndrome where the majority of children present as extremely critically sick. But fortunately, we have seen that the majority of these symptoms resolve, but it takes few months for them to get better. Therefore, when you are deciding regarding vaccination or not vaccinating your child, please remember these problems which arise from COVID versus 2 to 3 days of side effects from vaccine, 2 to 3 days of myocardial inflammation or any other side effects. Yes, side effects can happen from any vaccine, but so far we have seen that these side effects are really transient. And if you compare it with the actual COVID infection, the benefit of getting the vaccine is much, much higher. So definitely weigh your benefits versus risks in this manner. Another common question which may come up, which we have seen previously also, especially during our Azadari days, I'm feeling a little under the weather, I think it's common cold, I'm planning to attend the Majlis tonight at the center as there will be Tazia, there will be alums, and I really don't want to miss this opportunity. And the simple answer to this question is please stay home and utilize online azadari options. Azadari is in our hearts. We don't have to be in a center to give our condolences to Bibi Fatma. Even if you or anyone in your home has a common cold and it is not COVID, then you should still stay home, as you can spread that virus to any other frail and elderly person in your community, and you don't want them to get sick because of you. If you are vaccinated, you may still have COVID-19 and you may still have some symptoms because of it. Remember, the vaccine was created to protect us from COVID-19 disease, not to protect from the infection. We can still get infected by the virus and shed it and give it to other people. Let's address one more question. I was exposed to someone with COVID-19. When can I return to the center to attend the majlis? Let's review the difference between quarantine and isolation in this case. So quarantine is for someone who was exposed to a person with COVID-19. Isolation is for someone who himself or herself has the disease. So if you are vaccinated, according to CDC's latest guidelines from July 27th, if you are vaccinated, you do not need to quarantine after exposure. However, if you develop symptoms, then you should isolate and seek testing. Fully vaccinated people should get tested 3 to 5 days after their exposure, even if they don't have symptoms. And they also need to wear a mask indoors in public for 14 days following exposure or until their test result is negative. Similarly, if you've had COVID within last 3 months and now you're exposed to someone with COVID, then you do not need to quarantine unless symptomatic. Remember, what is a close contact? Close contact is someone within 6 feet of your distance for a cumulative time period of 15 minutes or more over a 24-hour period. The other case scenario is going to be somebody who was unvaccinated and who is now exposed. That person needs to quarantine for 10 days. And if there are no symptoms, you can end your quarantine in 10 days. Alternatively, you can end the quarantine after 7 days if you are tested on or after day number 5 of your exposure, tested negative, okay? So I hope I was able to clarify this, and we can honestly all work on this during the days of Azadari to keep everybody safe around us. Another common question comes is, I know I had COVID already, should I get my antibody tested? It is currently not recommended to get tested for antibodies. What are antibodies? Antibodies are basically proteins, right? These are the proteins which our body develops to fight the infection, or it is developed by the body after a vaccination. And both of these type of antibodies from the vaccination or appearing from the body after exposure to virus are slightly different type of antibodies. An antibody test is currently not recommended to determine if you are immune to COVID-19 following COVID-19 vaccination. Because there are so many other unknowns which we don't know, like what level of antibody, what type of antibody. So there are many scientific answers that we still need. Some antibody tests will only detect antibodies from the infection, not from vaccination with the virus that causes COVID-19. It typically takes 1 to 3 weeks to develop antibodies. So it may be possible that you were just exposed and you want to get tested and the antibodies were just not developed. So there's no point in getting tested. Some people may take even longer to develop antibodies, and a small portion of people who are infected or vaccinated may just never develop any antibodies. And scientists are still trying to understand the reasons behind this. So just to summarize, antibody testing is therefore not currently recommended to determine if you are immune to COVID-19 following COVID-19 vaccination. Antibody testing should also not be used to decide if someone needs to be vaccinated. Let's do another common question which comes up is, I had COVID-19, should I still get vaccinated? Answer is that you should still get vaccinated against COVID-19. The protection a person tends to tends to last up to 3 months, and reinfections have been seen after 3 months. Also, the antibodies that the body develops after vaccination are much more robust, and they are more durable as compared to the ones developed after natural infection. Therefore, vaccination is still recommended. I'll do one more question. I was diagnosed with COVID-19 a few days ago, and what should I do now? So if your primary care physician is not aware, you were tested somewhere else, and your primary care should be made aware that you are positive now. The reason is that there is some more treatment options available now. There is evidence and data supporting an important role of a combination of antibodies, which are called monoclonal antibodies, to protect a person from developing severe COVID-19 infection after they have contracted the infection or the virus. It may be available near you, and depending upon your age, depending upon other medical illnesses or problems you may have, you may qualify to receive these antibodies. So it's a good idea that if somebody is diagnosed, even if you are not having any symptoms, even if you are just feeling fine, for some reason you were tested and your test has come back positive, you let your primary care physician know, because there is a set of criterias which, if you meet based upon your age, based upon your weight, based upon your medical problems, you may receive it, and that may prevent your infection from getting worse in few days. The other thing which you can do is you may also want to purchase a pulse oximeter, as that may help you monitor your blood oxygen levels at home. And if your blood oxygen levels drop less than 94%, you should seek emergency help, because you may qualify to get not only oxygen but also steroids and an antiviral medication, remdesivir, to prevent worsening of infection. With this, I will take farewell, and I want to thank you for all being with me today. I hope with this information you will be able to participate in Azadari in a safe and effective way. Khuda Hafiz, and thank you very much.
Thank you for watching today's program. I hope you enjoyed. IMI has served across 17 countries and has numerous projects underway. We need your support to help fund these projects, and I hope you consider making a donation. Please also remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to follow us on our social medias, which is on the screen. Thank you.